And they also have everybody in the streets. They got this whole thing going on in Minnesota. And we talked about this last year. They're looking for a reason to put military in the streets. So that way, when the rapture happens, they already have government continuity in place to hold this whole country together while it shakes during the rapture resurrection event. So that way they can take control immediately because their military is already in place.
So I wanted to add something about what Rick said about predictive programming. A lot of people say, well, why would they do something like that? Why would they let us know ahead of time? Well, you go into the Bible, Amos 3:7 basically says that, God lets his servants and his prophets know ahead of time what his plans are. And, maybe there's some universal rule that God created, and I don't know if this is biblical or not, to where God says, okay, I'm going to reveal my hand. Now, evil, you have to reveal your hand. And then since we have free will, we have to choose between the two options. And, sometimes I wonder if that's like a universal law that both good and bad will reveal their hands. And then we have to make a decision between them with our free will. Otherwise, if we didn't know what evil was up to, it would be hard for us to make a decision if we should go the bad route or the good route kind of thing. It's just a thought, and it's just an opinion, and it's not a fact that I've established or anything like that. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, that's where our Bible talks about where he does nothing first until he first reveals what he's going to do to his prophets.
Right.
So basically, what God does there, he looks at Satan like, you got to do the same thing. Okay, you want to play this game? I review everything to my prophets and what I'm going to do. So since you want to be like me, you got to reveal everything to your prophets. So Satan reveals what he wants to do, what his plans are to his prophets. So who are his prophets? The corporations, the Illuminati. They put the stuff on the dollar bill. They put stuff on the back of cereal boxes and use the Simpsons. And they don't come out and tell you straight up, but they come out to predict a program like we're talking about. Since we have to be, all of us have to be fair here to the human race. Okay. So that way, for those who are actually looking, they'll actually be prepared for it. Okay. So we have to play fair, but they're not going to come out and make an announcement and be honest about it. Like I said, they're going to be sneaky about it and, do it through all their movies, predictive programming, numerology, all this weird stuff. That way it's there. If you're looking for it, then you'll be able to see it.
Well, thank you very much for adding that in, Bob. I appreciate it. That was a very good explanation, and that helps sum it up. Yeah.
It's also part of the revelation of the method, it's called. And they have to declare ahead of time what they're going to do. Not totally, of course, but because of karma. Karma is actually behind all their revealing. They don't believe in our Bible. They think it's all a joke, everything that we think. And we're thinking like, why don't you read our Bible and then you'll know what's going on and then you won't be doing this. No, they don't believe anything that's in our Bible. So, but they do believe in the revelation of the method and the predictive programming. Now, remember the Leave the World Behind movie, right? Well, I watched it over and over. And in that movie, just like all these movies that you guys talk about, there's stuff in it, messages. Well, that tanker that came up on the beach, it said White Lion. So I Googled White Lion. There's a singing group called White Lion. And guess what one of their songs is? No More Presidents. When the Children Cry. And I thought, oh my gosh, it was like, there's so much. You know what? It's just, we got to be alert. We have to notice things around us. I mean, I didn't know until 2024 how close we were to being raptured. And I think a lot of people, when did you get on board with that? Well, you've always been doing it, right, Bob?
Oh, yeah. I've been looking for this rapture for the last 22 years.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So you just started.
So I've been watching, and the Lord put me through a very vigorous, tough training to make sure I was geared up before I launched my YouTube channel in 2012, 2013. Wow. But I was studying it. I was hardcore into all this stuff, studying for at least, let's see, 2004, 8, 12, that's 8 to 9 years before I started my channel studying this stuff.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, but speaking of the rapture, since people are watching, what's really interesting is brother Barry Scarborough put out a great video on Sunday, and he was talking about CERN and how CERN, when they activate CERN, at one point they're going to activate this thing. It's going to be all out. All right. And whether this causes what's about to happen or not, I'm not sure. But what's interesting is the conversations that took place between the scientists at CERN and their scribes. Okay. And they recorded it, and then they kind of leaked it into the public to certain people.
She says, and I'll make sure to turn this up so you can hear it. Listen to what she says, because she's talking to these CERN scientists. This is something I hadn't heard before. I've heard just about everything on CERN. Listen to this.
Frequency is changing. The Schumann resonance is increasing, and not everyone will make the shift.
Not everyone will make the shift in human resonance. Now, this is New Age philosophy. This is fourth turning philosophy. Now, Brother Chad at Watchman on the Wall 88 has said this, and I totally agree, that we are being primed for the alien invasion theory. The stage is set to explain away the rapture, that aliens will snatch us, that if, call it in a week or in a month or whatever the time frame is, 3 months or whatever it is, that if 500 million people disappear and are raptured out, that people will say, well, the aliens snatched Barry away and his family away and these church members away, and these, they won't call them church members, but these people away because they weren't able to evolve into the fourth turning. They weren't prepared for the evolution. They weren't prepared for higher frequencies. And that's true of kind of abduction theory, all this other kind of stuff, from an alien point of view, from a fourth turning point of view, from an age of Aquarius point of view. This has been going on. This type of programming, mental programming, has been going on for 60 or 70 years. That there's an evolution in mankind that some people just aren't ready for, that conservatives, that fundamentalists just aren't ready for. But it's interesting and kind of unique that this is now coming from CERN.
And basically what they talked about when this whole, when they opened CERN at one point, what's going to happen is there's going to be this massive shift in the Schumann resonance to take the world to fourth density. Okay. And when this massive shift in the Schumann resonance takes place, it will also instantly affect the vibration of every human on the planet at the exact same time. So the Earth's going to shift to fourth density, and it's also going to affect us as well. And when this happens, what will happen is if you're not vibrating, Dorothy, at the correct vibration for fourth density, then what automatically happens is you'll disappear. And this is what they're saying to everybody at CERN. And this, of course, is in all your, New Age stuff and stuff like that. But basically, when it goes to fourth density, everybody that's not vibrating at the proper vibration will disappear as a default, as a backfire. Okay, then those who are still on the Earth, who are still there after the Schumann resonance shifts to fourth density, which is, by the way, is 144,000 hertz. All right. You know how many hertz a human body can handle? About 300. All right, 300 to 500 hertz, give or take, what part of your body. All right. You start going beyond that, it starts breaking the body down. All right. But this thing is going to shift to 144,000 hertz, which is interesting because of the 144,000 the Bible talks about. Okay, this is kind of weird. But thing is, when this thing shifts, basically they call it the fourth turning, the Fourth Reich. You guys heard about that stuff? And what's interesting too is the number 4 is the number of creation. On the fourth day, God created Adam. Okay, it all lines up.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, when it shifts to the new resonance, when Earth vibrates differently, as a default, people will disappear from the Earth. And this is one of the things that they're going to use to explain away the rapture. Because
Right.
here the thing is, the scientists, they actually believe it in their heart of hearts. They believe, oh, this is what's going to happen. They talk about it like it ain't nothing while they're drinking their coffees. All right. They know that this is what's going to happen. So people out there that don't believe in the rapture, they think it's silly. Oh, no. Look, I could sit there and tell you 1 Thessalonians 4:16, 17, 1 Corinthians 15, verses 51 to 54, 2 Timothy 2:13. Okay, we just go on and on and on. The rapture's in the Bible. All right. But these guys believe in the rapture too. Even the New Age people believe in the rapture. Because the New Age people, they're taught that the Christians are removed by the aliens, so that way they can be taken to another planet and be retaught on a different planet, while everybody here is ready for fourth density. They talk about fourth density in the New Age teachings as well. So everybody is getting prepared for this big mass disappearance of people. Okay, which probably plays into why Trump is trying to get so much control of the Western Hemisphere. Because look, you don't want to have too many people in charge of the earth. And this
That's
whole thing
right.
goes down. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be in control of your whole hemisphere, because when this happens, it's going to be crazy, and they need Greenland to be able to deflect missiles in the event this thing gets too crazy after the rapture, where people are confused and they start lobbing missiles at each other.
Yeah.
And they also have everybody in the streets. They got this whole thing going on in Minnesota, and we talked about this last year. They're looking for a reason to put military in the streets, so that way when the rapture happens, they already have government continuity in place to hold this whole country together while it shakes during the rapture resurrection event. So that way they can take control immediately because their military is already in place.
Guys, I'm reading right now. There's snipers on the roof shooting people, killing people left and right in Iran protests right now. And Trump is pissed. He's like, I'm going to bomb. We're taking out Iran. We're going to take out the regime change. Couldn't say that word. And Iran just said it again. It's going to end badly for Israel and America. All of you are going to be destroyed completely. And God's like, that's not going to happen, Iran. God's, like I said, guys, keep your eyes to the skies when this happens. That's all I'm going to keep it at that.
Look, what's happening right now is you're seeing principalities shifting too, because there's a principality that ran Iran for the last 60 years. And now that principality is being dethroned right now, and some other guys taking over for whatever reason. Okay. As also a result of the angels and these principalities warring in the heavens as well, which is manifesting on here on the earth with the changing of powers and positions of leadership on the planet. So I think that's another thing that's going on right there. And speaking of earlier, I don't get it why Muslims are, and why they're doing is trying to kill other people in the street. Trump already told them, hey, I'm going to come blow you guys back to the Stone Age if you hurt one single person. And what do? Kill like 12,000 people. That's the problem with these guys, man. Muslims believe if they get killed during battle, they go straight to heaven. And that's one of the things that the Quran teaches, like, hey, if you screw up the pilgrimage, if you screw up everything with Mecca, you screw up with your wives, you screw up with all the hadiths, you screw up with all your sin and everything else like that. Look, your get out of jail free card is just get killed on the battlefield and you go straight to heaven. Okay. Or if you kill yourself as a suicide bomber or something like that, you go straight to heaven. So basically these Muslims believe that, and they get desperate the more and more they want to die. Because unfortunately for them, they're going to find out a hard truth once they leave their body. Instead of going up, they're going to be heading down, taking about 120 mile an hour, 3 to 4 minute drop to the center of the earth. While things get hotter around them. That's what they're all finding out right now.
Welcome home, come and see the place where joy and glory meet. No sorrow, no more pain, only worship, endless praise. Rest forever in His grace. Your home is ready, take your place. Come praise the Lamb, Jesus near. Welcome home, our Savior's here.
Family, it's almost time to go home. almost time for the Rapture Resurrection event to take place, and it's almost time to let everything in this world go for two reasons. One, we're not going to be here anymore to enjoy it, and two, it is about to be completely tokenized and absorbed into the New World Order. The 2030 agenda. You'll own nothing, and you'll love it. So family, while we still have control of our money and our wealth, let's put some of it to work to build God's kingdom. Jesus said, do not build up your wealth on earth, build it up in heaven, where it will last for eternity. That's why Jesus gave us the parable of the talents. There is something special about releasing your talents into the building of God's kingdom, especially during the last days, the last hours before the rapture resurrection. Do not hold on to your talents and worship it like the servant who was afraid and had no faith. God gave you those talents for one thing, to release into his kingdom and to build his kingdom. And then turn around and reward you with what transpired from releasing those talents. God said in Isaiah 55:11 that his word will not return unto him void, and neither will the talents that he gave you if you release them into his kingdom. And family, the master is about to return, and you will have to give an account at the Bema Seat judgment for what you did with those talents. So family, invest your money somewhere where it can be used to build God's kingdom, where you can store up riches in heaven. And just like every other investment, you have to make sure you invest it in the right place. And Feed My Sheep Today is your number one place to make that investment. And let me tell you why. Over the last 15 years, we have built the world's largest network of Christian missionaries sharing the gospel of grace, providing free Bibles, and humanitarian relief aid to new believers here in the United States and all around the world. And since then, millions and millions and millions of new salvations were achieved through Feeding My Sheep Today. Not too bad compared to the average church in America that sees about 6 new salvations per year. So if you're looking to make that last big final impact before we go home, then Feed My Sheep Today is a place to do it. All you have to do is go to our official website. It's feedmysheeptoday.org. Link is in the description box below. There you can give by credit card, PayPal, bank draft, and many other online options as well, like Google Pay and more. Or if you don't want to mess with any of this, all you have to do is just pick up your smartphone and text SHEEP to 801-801, and you can very easily give right there. Don't like giving online? No problem. Send your support by mail to Feed My Sheep Today, P.O. Box 568, Schererville, Indiana 46375. Want to make a big impact but don't have the money to do it right now? Just become an easy feed monthly sustainer. We greatly need monthly sustainers. This allows Feed My Sheep Today to plan for next month by making solid commitments to the leadership in these areas that we will be visiting, because we know that the funds will be there at this point next month to take care of their needs. Plus, it's easier for you. Just set it and forget it. And this frees you up to do other things for the Lord while this is working on automatic on your behalf. And you can easily make changes at any time. And make sure to track your investment by following all of our other social media platforms. Links are in the description box below. Feed My Sheep Today is ready to partner with you to make your impact in God's kingdom today. Thank you all so much for the many years of support. Let's finish strong together, and may God bless you all.
Bob, I know you got to be excited more than anybody because you've been covering this for the past 20 years. And we've always thought, well, maybe this is going to be it. And it didn't happen. We always thought that might be it. And it didn't happen, you know? And I've built up, a tolerance for that, to know that, hey, God's not ready yet. It's going to be a certain time that it's going to happen. God, remember this, guys, God's timing is perfect. It's the perfect timing, okay, for the rapture, okay? So don't get upset if it doesn't happen this year. His timing is perfect. Agreed, everybody? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
The Rapture Resurrection event is a solitary stationary event in time. Okay, God knows exactly where it is. It's never changed since the days of Noah up until today. Okay, it's never changed. When God created the earth, he already knew when the rapture is going to take place.
Right.
It makes sense.
Yep.
Absolutely makes perfect sense. You think God's not paying attention up there? Okay, when the Bible says he knows every single hair on your head,
Yep.
do you think he's not paying attention to the biggest event of all time next to the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is the biggest event of all time? So the second biggest event of all time, do you think God's not paying attention to that? When he knows every hair on your head?
Yeah.
He knows exactly where that thing's at. And it's never been changed. It's just from our layman's human perspective that we think he's kicking the can down the street. And that's absolutely false. This thing is set exactly right where it's at. The only problem is we are fooled by these calendars that we're surrounded with right now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, we know that how that failed last
he's-
year, folks.
And he's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the end. He already knows the end, right to the second.
he knows everything. But we know that we are in the season. We definitely know that we are in the season.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and he's showing us everything that we need to see. And pretty much we have everything in place in order for the tribulation to begin. We just don't have the trigger for it yet, which is a rapture resurrection event. Okay. So we're just looking for the trigger right now. Everything is set. Everything's in place. Sure, everything can continue and get bigger and bigger and go and go and go. And I think JD Frog talked about at some point, if God doesn't trigger the rapture resurrection, then technology and things that are talked about in the Bible will go beyond what the Bible talks about, where time of prophecy won't work no more. So just for that reason alone, we know we're running out of time real estate right now. But people just get frustrated because we human, we just want the day. Give us the day, okay? Give us a day. And there are YouTube channels out there, I'm not going to mention any names. They love guys. I'll just give them a day. Once a week, every week, they'll give you a new day, okay? And some people love that stuff, all right? I got a lot of people like that on my channel. And I got a lot of people on my channel that hate dates. So I got a real mixed crowd.
Yeah, I try to stay away from date setting. All I do is look at a watch time for something that's happening now. It puts us on a high alert of the rapture watch time. You know, we're supposed to be looking up always. I get that, but there's a higher watch time. It's kind of like my own, what do you want to call it, DEF CON level?
Yes.
That's my own DEF CON. My DEF CON is at a higher, lower the DEF CON actually means war. So right now, in my case, my DEF CON is up there, right there in the very high area where I like it to be all the time. So we could be imminent, but it doesn't ruin that because the imminency is always every day we could be out here. Now, Jesus said it would be business as usual. You know, people are going to be getting married tomorrow while this Iran and U.S. war goes on. It will be business as usual around the globe. People are going to the beach tomorrow, and there'll be a big wars going on over there and protests. So it will be business as usual when the rapture comes, even despite of wars going on. Now, I can't see the whole planet in a global nuclear war and then the rapture date, because that would be too late. People be dead everywhere.
Doesn't make sense. The Red Horse of War is not going to show up to the party late. And a nuclear war, global nuclear war, you're not going to have the Red Horse of War show up after that, because the Red Horse of War is like, hey, I'm bringing this great war upon the world, and everything's already destroyed. It's like, oh, whoop-de-doo, a little late to the party, dude. So I believe the Red Horse of War definitely is the nuclear war itself within the confines of World War III. Okay. And the other thing, too, is when I've had dreams and visions here of my subscribers, anything that deals with war or the nuclear war or anything, they always use and talk about the color red in these dreams. And that's what I see, too, just red just coming at me from different directions. Red. I always saw red, a big red planet. You know, it's just red everywhere when war begins. I was at my mother-in-law's house at the beginning of World War III, and it wasn't a nuclear bomb, but it was just fire bombs like crazy going off all around. It was just boom, 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 boom. It was just insane. And I knew this was the beginning of World War III. And then one big one went off. And interesting, right before all that took place, I saw a big red planet that was in alignment with the Earth. Okay, so does that mean that there's a big planet entering atmosphere? No, that would never happen. Okay, that will throw the Earth off like you wouldn't believe. But the planet was big and red, so it might have been a representation of a blood moon. And we got one coming up here for Purim. And it's the final blood moon, too. We have 3 blood moons in a row for Purim, the last 3 years in a row. And third and final one is coming up
March 2nd and 3rd, just over a month away.
How interesting is that? So, just saying.
Signs. Yep, lots of signs.
Well, there's too many signs taking place, too many celestial signs. I've been watching these things since 2017, making charts all over the place. You see my charts in the past. I had to keep recreating these charts because there's so many signs. There's so many alignments pointing at so much stuff. But it's like, in order to, if I was able to get everything on the chart will be, everything will be so tiny everywhere. And once you look at, you guys seen charts like that? They're impossible to read. I can't read them. And I make charts. And I look at these charts like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. It looks hieroglyphics to me, man. So it's like, but the thing is, like you're saying, Dorothea, the celestial science have been off the charts essentially for the last 12 years. Because 2014, when it all started with the 4 blood moons, remember? With the solar eclipse in the middle.
And a Bethlehem star within the same sequence.
The April 8th one? Was that the 8th? Yeah.
All fell on Jewish feast days. That happened for a reason. That started in 2014. And now we are 12 years later into it, essentially still 11 years later until Spring Feast this year. Because the first one took place in April back in 2014. So essentially, April this year will mark exactly 12 years since the whole planetary celestial craziness began back in 2014.